Dixon. I'm the Drum My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, because you got to hold your breath for justice, girl. To see justice before all face to black. Yes, his your girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, I'm coming through today, May 27, 2024. I just came through to record a video. Y'all, I'm in Florida and it is hot. Yes, I have to use my rapper voice. It's hot. So that is the reason why I got my car running, which I'm sure you can hear in the background. And I hate when there's background noise, but I can't cut it off. I already cut my air down because if I had my air cut up to where it needed to be, then you would hear that too. But I'm trying to make it as quiet as possible. But anyways, I was up. I was working on a logo. Thank you, Lord. I am being sent more work to send me to lead me down the correct path. Y'all know God will lead you to where you need to be. Cadillac, felt like my GPS been all the way off. Girl, early 40s, and I truly don't feel like I'm where I am supposed to be. I'm definitely not where I envisioned to be by 40. Girl, goodbye. Even by 30. 30, I thought that I would hit, you know, decent. And then by 40, you're just going to be even more better off than you were. But 40 being where I'm at, working at a restaurant, bringing food to the table, because I'm a runner. I bring people food to the table. To barely bring food to my table is definitely not where I thought I would be, especially with all the gifts and talents, multiple talents and gifts, like just endless gifts that God has given to me and trusted me with. It doesn't add up. The math is not mathing in my situation. So I am so glad that I ain't gonna lie, I've been discouraged. It's very disheartening knowing that you graduated in 2020. Well, my actual graduation, I graduated in 2020, but the graduation ceremony was not until 2021. But to know that you graduated with a degree in graphic design and yet you're still working at a restaurant, that math don't add up. But that's how I ended up. That's my placement where I ended up. So it is very discouraging and it makes you think that, oh gosh, I'm just totally off track in life. And then sometimes when I feel like I'm so off track, I feel like there's no getting back on track. Let's just let go because I'm too far gone. And God has a way pulling you right back on in. And lately was so crazy. Someone had reached out to me to help them on illustrating a book, right? I'm sorry, my hand is going numb, so that's why the camera's shaking. Help me do illustrations for their book. And that prompted me to, because I had been so far off of graphic design that I hadn't even had my computer together. So it prompted me to quickly get my computer back up and running. And now that I got my computer up and running and getting that well needed practice in doing illustrations, because I haven't really done a whole book like that, that practice is going to get me into finally illustrating my own books that I've been trying to do, but just never ended up doing. And now that my computer is up and running and my software is up and running, it has been like people reaching out to me. So I'm working on a logo for someone. And I'm like, it's so crazy how you feel like you're just lost in life, really. But God actually has you right on track. You're not too far off course. And me, if I don't think nobody else is further off course in life than I am. Like, girl, you could start after me and you gonna reach your destination way before I get to my destination. And I've been on this path probably longer than half of anybody been on this path. Just like YouTubers. I've been on the path of being a YouTuber longer than anybody I look around and see. And they are all far more successful, further along in their journey. Heck, I was even, I don't really listen to the same YouTubers Money does, but me and Money were hanging out yesterday, and she was listening to this one girl, a little young girl, and basically she does story times. And most of the story times are just about her sex life, really, her dating and sex life. And one video that she plays says, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe we just hit 10,000 subscribers in less than a year." And I'm like, automatically my first response wanted to be like, wow, I wish I could reach 10,000 subs. I wish I could reach 2,000. So I wish I could just get monetized in less than a year. In less than, honestly, I've been on YouTube since YouTube started. This channel here I've been on since 2013. So that's 11 years. I've been on this channel, still not monetized. And devoutly posting since 2020. Since the shutdown of 2020. Devoutly, almost daily posting. Still not monetized. So the first instinct is to look at her and say, why not me? But I'm in the slow cooker. God has given me to wherever, because now I'm clueless as to where he wants me. But wherever he wants me, it is a slow path that way that he's taking me, but he's still getting me back on path. And that used to bother me, and that probably was an attack of the enemy. What he would always use, he would always make sure I see everyone else being successful in what I'm doing, way more successful, and make sure that I see these stories so that I can say, why not me? Just like with wrongful convictions, y'all know I'm fighting my husband's wrongful conviction, which he got more time than people that committed their crimes. Like literally, like why this hard situation here? Like why did I meet the one man that was gonna go to jail till Jesus come back? Like out of all my soulmates, I meet the one that is not available. Like, girl. And then I see people that did their crimes, get their sentences reduced, they get out far less time, they get their family back together and they move on. They're not still sitting up at prison like 22 years later, like your girl. You know how many people I've seen come into this life and get to exit this life. And every time I hear that story of my husband's coming home, y'all know how that feels. And you know automatically, and the devil knows that, it's going to make me want to say, but why not us? Why not us? Why is it not our turn? And I just realized that it's just going to be in God's timing, and it's just not his will for us at this time, right? But those are tactics that he will use. He will completely show you. Now, he's not going to show me the people that are doing worse than me. He's going to show you somebody that's way more successful, and look how fast they were able to do it, and you can't do it. So I'm not taking that bait, right? Not taking that bait. But anyways, so I'm glad that I'm getting more graphic design work out. And I got up, I started working on the girls' logo, and I finished the first session. I felt so good about myself to finally be getting back to what I'm supposed to be. Um, and I forgot to put do not disturb. So I hear disturbing notifications coming through. But anyways, I was watching Diamond Royal Ministries. I watch a lot of her content. I believe her name is Ashley, but she goes by Diamond Royal Ministries. And one of the videos that I just watched that said, Oh, what is it? I think it is God is dealing with your enemies. I'm trying to read the title to see if that's what's going to pop up. Your enemies. Oh, okay. Your enemies are being taught a lesson. I'm watching it scroll across my radio. To not come for you. Yes, your enemies are being taught a lesson to not come from you, come for you. Thank you, Lord, that it scrolled past because I thought I was gonna forget the video I was talking about. But in that video, she was saying how she talks a lot about your enemies. Like basically, in what I'm learning, your enemies tend to be people close to you. They tend to reside right in your own family. Like, okay, come on now. Let me turn off the notifications because it's not going to stop. I literally thought I could do it. Okay, so and the notification sidetracks me. But your enemies tend to be in your family. And this is why you never look for your enemies in your family, because your family is supposed to be your support system. So you don't look for your enemy to be in those who are supposed to care for you and love you and support you. And they tend to hide right there within that group. The ones that are supposed to be there for you the most are usually the ones that hurt you the most, right? And in that video, she had gave an instance of a woman that had got a ride with somebody. The person pulled in somewhere, committed a murking, jumped back in the car, and said that the girl basically was just riding, didn't even know what the person went in to do or whatever, and ended up they did 13 years in prison for a murking that they did not commit. And she was saying that the lady was actually going to, was threatened with having to do life for a murking she didn't commit. And y'all know, when I heard that video, when I heard her say that in that video, y'all already know what came to mind. Mr. Marcello Jackson. Marcello Jackson, my husband, is spending 40 years in prison for a alleged robbery of 60, $80. And the reason I say that is because when they tried to pin this robbery on Marcello, the people alleged that Marcello tried to rob them of $80 that they borrowed from the bartender, their friend the bartender. And when Marcello was arrested and searched, he only had $60 on him. So the police, the arresting officer in Marcello's case, gave their sworn statements that they had already wrote 80. Two people already wrote 80. Marcello tried to rob us of $80. And when Marcello was searched by the two supporting police that was right there with the arrested police and found that he only had 60, the officer gave back their sworn statements to each of them and told them to amend it, cross out 80, and write in 60 so that it can align and so that we can wrongfully charge him with robbery. And it's so crazy. He got a ride with his cousin. His blood cousin, his older cousin too. So think about being around your cousins and you look up to your older cousins. And you're thinking this is my family. Like literally, I'm not gonna be harmed when I'm with my family. You may think you're gonna be harmed when you're with a pack of wolves. You may think you're gonna be harmed when you're with your enemies. But when you're with your family, your older cousin, why would you believe you would be harmed? So Marcello is walking home from 7-Eleven because Marcello was footing it. Marcello was only a 19-year-old boy when this happened, or a 19-year-old man when this happened. Walking from 7-Eleven on a hot summer day, Sunday, yeah, in Orlando, Florida. So you know it was hot. It was hot. His cousin offered him a ride. Said, hey man, you want to ride? Marcello's destination one but like 2 blocks down. He could have footed, but it's hot. Why would you foot it? And this is my cousin asking if I want to ride. He says, sure. But where he picks Marcello up is so close to the stop sign that when Marcello got in the car, he rolled the stop sign because he didn't stop. And as soon as that happened, the police proceeded to try to pull them over for running a stop sign, for a traffic infraction. A traffic infraction. Well, instead of the cousin pulling over, the cousin floors it. That's what he does. He floors it. It leads the cops on a high speed 5-minute chase through the neighborhood. He cuts off around a corner, stops the car in a dead-end cul-de-sac, and he opens the door, jumps out, and runs, leaving his cousin, Marcello Jackson, and his 2 passengers in the car, running off. Runs, and they lie and say they never caught him. They caught him. I got proof they caught him. They caught him. Right? The 2 guys say that, oh, we were being robbed. So that was their way out of getting out of this. And Marcello walks up to them and said, hey, I just caught a ride with my cousin. I don't even know what's going on. All I know is when I got in the car, he started speeding off. And all of a sudden, these 2 in the back, rather than being suspects as well, are off rip believed and said, oh yes, you must have been robbed. How much were you robbed of? $80. Write it in your statements. Oh, wait, he don't have $80 on him. He only has 60. You got to amend this so this can look right. And then Marcello is taken off to jail, and without any, to await trial, and without any evidence, no weapon. They attached a weapon to this whole situation so that they can escalate the time that Marcello has to serve. But no weapon was ever recovered. None of Marcello's fingerprints on the car. You have nobody. The 2 that are alleging they were robbed were not powed. They were not outed. They were not hurt in any type of way. And you didn't even prove that this $80 that they claim that they borrowed from the bartender, and you never question the bartender. Did these people actually borrow 60 from you? Never did. None of that. No canvassing of the neighborhood. No nothing. No exculpatory evidence collected in Marcello's case. You are able to convict him without any evidence. Only him. Not the cousin. Not the cousin that was driving, that was evading police. Not the cousin that sped off on a high-speed chase. You did not arrest him. You arrest the cousin that just got in the car with him. And for 22 years, I've been spending the best part of my life fighting to get him back home. That's what enemies that are within your family will do to you. It's crazy. And I'm glad that she gave that example because it happens. It happens. I left a comment in her comment section, but she probably gets so much comments that she probably won't see my little comment. But I asked her if she knows the lady's name that ended up, doing 13 years. Because, and even that case, I'm like, 13 years. I wish Marcello could have done only 13 years, but I have to bat that down. That's that enemy trying to say, see, look, Keita, compare yourself to them. You see how God spared them, but you're still in your trouble? No, I'm not listening to that. Maybe Marcello's story, the reason why it's so hard to break and it's so hard to defeat is because maybe it's going to change the world. Maybe it's going to change the way convicted people are handled. Maybe it'll change the protocol that police take that prevents wrongful convictions. Maybe it's something greater that I just can't see why it has to take longer. But I asked her what the girl's name is because I would love to review a story like that. All right, guys, I'm going to head back home. My hand numb, going to bed. It's hot out here. My phone about to die, and my dad cooked. So, food house. All right, guys, it's your girl Cadillac.